Do your legs ever feel like they're carrying bricks, even when you're only walking to the kitchen? That dull ache in your calves, the strange tingling when you sit too long, or the cold feet that make you curl your toes under the blanket at night. It's not just aging. It's your body whispering that something deeper is stirring beneath the surface. That whisper is blood, your life's silent river, struggling to flow as freely as it once did. You see, the human body is a landscape of pathways. Arteries, like rivers in a vast ecosystem, carry oxygen and nutrients to every cell. In youth, those rivers run fast and clear, but over time, their banks stiffen, their channels narrow, and sediments, tiny deposits of fat, calcium, and cholesterol, begin to build up. This quiet, almost invisible process is called arterial sclerosis, and it's the biological poetry of time itself. The problem is, when that poetry goes unread, the consequences can be devastating. The first clues are subtle. Fatigue after a short walk, a faint numbness in the toes, or that curious feeling that your legs have forgotten how to be light. We often shrug and say, "That's just age." But what if it isn't? What if the body isn't failing, but asking for help? In every whisper of weakness, there's a message that says, restore the flow. Modern science has spent decades unraveling how blood moves, how vessels age, and how nature itself designed remedies to counteract decline. The fascinating truth is this: the foods that color our world are the same ones that heal it. The crimson of a cherry, the emerald of a kiwi, the sapphire of a blueberry. These pigments are not decoration. They're biological armor, crafted by evolution to protect both the plant and the human who eats it. Aging doesn't have to mean stiff arteries or tired legs. It can mean renewal, if we learn to listen. In laboratories around the world, from Oslo to Harvard, scientists are finding that certain fruits can help restore the body's lost rhythm. They act as gentle custodians, cleaning the bloodstream, softening vessels, and letting life's river run free again. So today, we step into that river. We'll explore 7 extraordinary fruits, each one a chapter in nature's manual for vitality. From the humble kiwi to the radiant orange, each carries a secret to clear, nourish, and awaken the flow of life in your legs. Because sometimes, healing doesn't begin in a lab. It begins in the quiet, ordinary act of peeling an orange or slicing a kiwi. It begins when we listen to the body's whisper and finally choose to respond. In the quiet choreography of nature, every fruit is a small miracle, a biological invention honed by millions of years to feed, protect, and restore. When we eat these living colors, we're not just satisfying hunger, we're participating in an ancient exchange between the earth and our own cells. Take the kiwi, small, fuzzy, and unassuming, yet inside that emerald heart lies a symphony of nutrients that speak directly to your circulation. As we age, our blood thickens ever so slightly, and our arteries lose the supple flexibility they once had. It's like trying to push water through a hose that's beginning to harden. But kiwi carries a natural compound that works as a mild anticoagulant, thinning the blood just enough to let it move gracefully again. At the same time, its rich stores of vitamin K keep your vessels strong and responsive, allowing them to expand and contract in harmony with your heartbeat. And then there's vitamin C, so abundant in kiwi that just one fruit can give you more than your daily requirement. While we often think of it as an immune booster, its hidden genius lies in its role as a vascular architect. It helps repair the delicate collagen matrix that lines your blood vessels, fortifying them against the micro-tears of time. A study from the University of Oslo found that older adults who ate kiwi daily had improved blood pressure and vascular function, a scientific echo of what ancient healers intuited long before, that nature restores what age erodes. Now, imagine the ruby sweetness of a strawberry. Beneath its simple charm is a defense system of polyphenols, tiny plant molecules that act as peacekeepers within your bloodstream. When your vessels become inflamed, blood struggles to move freely, like traffic on a congested highway. Polyphenols calm that chaos. They help arteries relax, widen, and let the current flow again. In one study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who ate strawberries regularly had lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation that clogs and stiffens arteries over time. But there's something more profound at play here. The act of eating fruit, especially for older adults, isn't just nutritional, it's symbolic. Each slice of kiwi or handful of strawberries is a small rebellion against decline, a way of saying to your body, I still believe in your ability to heal. Think of these fruits as gentle mechanics, repairing, cleaning, softening, without fanfare or side effects. They don't fight your body's rhythm. They restore it. They remind us that health is not an external battle, but an inner harmony, one we can rekindle through something as simple as what we place on our plate each morning. So, when you next slice a kiwi into your oatmeal or scatter strawberries across your breakfast bowl, don't just think of taste. Think of flow. Think of warmth returning to your feet, strength to your step, and life rediscovering its effortless rhythm. There's something ancient and almost sacred about the color red. It's the hue of life itself, the color of oxygen-rich blood, of heartbeats, of vitality. And in the world of fruit, red often signals power, healing, renewal. Take the cherry, small, round, and radiant, yet carrying within it the quiet strength of mountains and rain. For centuries, it's been seen as a symbol of vitality in cultures from Japan to Greece. Modern science now confirms what ancient wisdom only sensed. Cherries nourish the very veins that carry us through life. As we age, many people experience what doctors call venous insufficiency, when the veins, especially in the legs, lose their ability to send blood back to the heart efficiently. The result is swelling, heaviness, and sometimes those bulging varicose veins that are far more than cosmetic. They're signs of pressure, fatigue, and inflammation beneath the skin. Cherries contain anthocyanins, deep red pigments that act like natural shields against oxidative stress, the silent rust of the human body. These antioxidants protect the collagen and elastin that keep vein walls supple. The stronger your vessel walls, the smoother your circulation, and the lighter your legs feel. And hidden within the cherry's sweet flesh is melatonin, a compound most of us associate with sleep. Yet melatonin also helps regulate blood pressure and reduce vascular inflammation, creating a peaceful balance within the bloodstream. Researchers at the University of Michigan discovered that people who consumed tart cherry juice daily experienced measurable reductions in muscle soreness and inflammation. It's not just recovery, it's restoration. Imagine that. A fruit so small, yet capable of easing pain, calming inflammation, and perhaps even giving your legs back their lightness. Then there's papaya, sunlight captured in flesh. This tropical fruit isn't just nourishment, it's nature's gentle cleanser. Inside it lies an enzyme called papain, a biological miracle that breaks down excess fats and proteins, preventing them from congealing into arterial plaque. Picture papain as a subtle scrub brush moving through your bloodstream, clearing away the residues that slow your flow. Papaya is also rich in magnesium, a mineral often overlooked, but essential for the symphony of circulation. Magnesium allows your vessels to relax and your muscles to contract with ease. Without it, tension rises, not just in the body, but in the mind. It's no coincidence that magnesium is sometimes called the calm mineral. When your arteries relax, your entire being feels it. Your thoughts ease, your breath deepens, and your steps grow lighter. And of course, papaya brings another ally, vitamin C, that recurring guardian of blood vessel integrity. Studies show that people who include papaya in their diet often see lower levels of triglycerides, the fatty compounds that stiffen arteries over time. Imagine an older man sitting by a window in the early morning sun, slicing open a ripe papaya. The orange glow reflects off his skin as he takes a bite. Sweet, cooling, vibrant. In that moment, he's not just feeding his body, he's honoring it. Because to eat these fruits, to choose cherries over chips, papaya over pastries, isn't merely a dietary choice. It's a philosophical one. It's saying, I still choose movement. I still choose life. If cherries are the heartbeat of nature, then blueberries are its pulse, quiet, rhythmic, and full of electric life. These deep blue gems hold a kind of alchemy that science is still learning to understand. They may be small, but their effect on the human body, especially on aging arteries, is nothing short of profound. Each blueberry is rich with anthocyanins, the same family of compounds found in cherries, but in even greater concentrations. These are the molecules that give the fruit its inky color. The same pigments that, once absorbed, help your blood vessels stay open, elastic, and young. The Harvard University study that examined older adults who ate blueberries daily found not only improved arterial elasticity, but also lower blood pressure, suggesting that these fruits can actually turn back some of the stiffness that time creates. When you think about it, arteries are storytellers. Every pulse of blood they carry is a record of your choices: what you eat, how you move, how you live. Over years, those choices carve patterns into your vessel walls. But blueberries act like tiny repair crews, patching up microscopic cracks, clearing oxidative debris, and giving your arteries a chance to breathe again. Their antioxidants fight free radicals, the unstable molecules that accelerate cellular aging. It's as if, with each handful, you're polishing the inside of your body's most vital highways. Now, imagine a fruit that gleams like a treasure chest: pomegranate. Its ruby seeds, called arils, are among nature's most striking designs. In ancient Persia, the pomegranate was seen as a symbol of eternal life, and now modern medicine gives that metaphor a scientific foundation. Hidden within this fruit is punicalagin, a rare antioxidant almost exclusive to pomegranates. It protects your arteries from inflammation and prevents LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad kind, from turning toxic and sticking to vessel walls. But that's only part of its genius. Pomegranates are also loaded with natural nitrates, which your body transforms into nitric oxide, the molecule of flow. Nitric oxide signals your vessels to widen, allowing blood to move freely and pressure to drop. The result? Warmer legs, steadier steps, and a calmer heart. A study published in the journal Atherosclerosis found that drinking pomegranate juice daily for just 2 weeks led to a measurable improvement in arterial flexibility, a reminder that transformation can begin astonishingly fast when you nourish the body the way it was meant to be fed. Picture this. You sit at your kitchen table, morning light pouring through the window, a glass of dark pomegranate juice glowing like liquid sunlight. You lift it to your lips, and in that simple act, you're partaking in a ritual as old as humanity itself, the act of choosing vitality over decay. Blueberries and pomegranates, one born from the forest, the other from desert heat, both converge on the same truth: that circulation is life. Every drop of blood that moves freely through your body carries energy, warmth, and memory. To keep that flow alive is to keep yourself alive. And now, we come to the fruit that embodies the essence of all we've learned, a fruit so ordinary it hides its brilliance in plain sight, the one that holds within it the warmth of the sun itself. It sits quietly in your fruit bowl, familiar, bright, often overlooked. Yet the orange is not just a snack. It's sunlight turned into medicine. Peel back its skin, and you release an aroma that has traveled across centuries. Ancient groves in the Mediterranean, sailors fighting scurvy on distant seas, healers prescribing citrus to restore life. The orange has always been a symbol of warmth and renewal, and modern science now tells us why. Within every orange lies hesperidin, a natural plant compound found in its peel and pulp. Hesperidin doesn't just nourish, it transforms. It helps reduce inflammation in the blood vessels, keeping them soft and pliable. When your arteries are flexible, blood flows like a gentle stream rather than a choked river. Hesperidin also strengthens the capillaries, those delicate vessels that bring oxygen to your skin and muscles, ensuring that even the smallest corners of your body, your toes, your fingertips, stay alive with warmth. And of course, there's the eternal vitamin C, working once again as nature's architect. It rebuilds collagen, dissolves the residue of oxidative stress, and shields the arteries from microscopic wear and tear. In a clinical study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed oranges or orange juice regularly showed marked improvements in arterial function and reductions in inflammation. But beyond the science, there's a quiet symbolism in this golden fruit. The orange reminds us that healing is cyclical, like the sun that rises each day. Just as light returns after darkness, your body holds the power to renew its flow, to soften what has hardened, to warm what has gone cold. The simple act of eating an orange each morning is a ritual of belief, a way of telling your body, I still care for you. I still choose vitality. Think of an orange as the final chapter in nature's guide to circulation. Kiwi teaches flexibility. Strawberries calm inflammation. Cherries and papaya cleanse and relax. Blueberries and pomegranates fortify the arteries. But the orange, this humble sphere of sunlight, brings it all together. It's the embodiment of balance, sweetness with acidity, strength with gentleness, science with soul. When you peel an orange, you hold in your hands the energy that trees draw from the sun, condensed into a form your body can absorb. Each drop of juice carries the warmth of photosynthesis, the same process that fuels all life on Earth. In that sense, every orange is a conversation between the cosmos and your cells. So tomorrow morning, as you lift that first slice to your lips, imagine your arteries opening just a little wider. Imagine warmth flooding down to your legs, lightness returning to your steps. Healing, after all, doesn't always arrive with noise or drama. Sometimes it's as simple as holding the sun in your hands. You've felt it before, that quiet heaviness, a stiffness in your calves, the subtle fatigue that lingers even after rest. Most people brush it off, whispering the same old phrase, "It's just age." But behind that feeling, a silent story unfolds. Your body is trying to speak. The legs are the body's barometers. They bear our weight, our memories, our daily journeys, and they're often the first to reveal what's happening deep within. When they start to weaken or ache, it isn't always about muscles losing strength. It's about circulation, that ancient system of rivers and tributaries carrying oxygen and life from the heart to the farthest cells. In medical terms, one of the most common culprits is peripheral artery disease, PAD, a slow narrowing of the arteries caused by fatty plaque buildup. Imagine your arteries as a network of highways, each one carrying oxygen-rich blood. With PAD, those highways begin to close lane by lane until traffic slows to a crawl. The result? Your muscles don't get enough oxygen. That dull ache in your calves after walking? It's not tiredness, it's your tissues crying out for air. The early warnings are often soft. Cold feet when the rest of your body feels warm. Toes that turn pale or bluish, or a cramping sensation after only a short stroll. It's easy to dismiss these as just getting older, but to doctors, they are the body's distress signals. Left unchecked, those whispers grow louder, turning into chronic pain, infections that heal slowly, and in the worst cases, tissue death known as gangrene. There's another hidden danger that walks hand in hand with poor circulation: neuropathy, or nerve damage. Common in people with diabetes or vitamin B12 deficiency, neuropathy can silence your body's alarms. You may not feel pain from a blister, a cut, or a burn. You keep walking, unaware that beneath your shoe, an infection is already taking root. To understand how quickly things can spiral, meet Robert, a 72-year-old retired mechanic. For months, his legs had been feeling heavier, weaker. He assumed it was age catching up. One day while gardening, he felt a sharp sting in his foot. By evening, the pain had faded, and he forgot about it. What he didn't realize was that his nerves had gone numb. A small cut had turned into a deep wound. When he finally visited a clinic, doctors discovered severe PAD and nerve damage. The infection had spread. He narrowly avoided losing his foot. Robert later said, "If I'd listened to my legs sooner, I might have saved months of pain." His story isn't rare. It's a reminder. The body doesn't betray us. It warns us. Every ache, every chill, every change in color is a message, and the earlier we listen, the easier it is to heal. Think of your legs as storytellers. They're not complaining. They're communicating. Their language is subtle. The cold touch of your toes at night, the slow fade of strength after a short walk, the restless twitch before sleep. Listen. Beneath those sensations is a plea, not for perfection, but for attention. Because ignoring these whispers is what turns them into shouts. And by the time the shouting starts, it's often too late to undo the damage. Every step we take rests on a fragile bridge, our legs and feet. They are marvels of design, yet deeply vulnerable to the slow erosion of time, habit, and neglect. When circulation falters and sensation fades, this bridge begins to crack. But the real cause is rarely one single blow. It's the sum of small choices, small imbalances that accumulate year after year. Diabetes is one of the most silent sculptors of damage. Elevated blood sugar, if left unchecked, acts like acid rain on the body's internal architecture. It corrodes both nerves and blood vessels at once. A double assault that starves the feet of oxygen while numbing their ability to feel pain. Imagine a city where the power lines and water pipes fail simultaneously. The streets go dark, and the lifeblood stops flowing. That's what diabetes does, quietly, day by day. Then there's peripheral artery disease, narrowing the roads that feed your legs. Kidney disease and heart disease add their own layers of strain, each reducing the heart's pumping force or trapping fluid in the tissues. Over time, the lower limbs, so far from the heart, become like distant shores, harder to reach, slower to heal. Yet biology is only half the story. The other half lies in daily habits, choices so ordinary that we stop noticing them. A diet that lacks vitamin D weakens muscles and bones. Low vitamin B12 quietly eats away at nerves. Too little vitamin C or zinc slows healing, making every blister or scrape a potential gateway for infection. A cigarette constricts blood vessels for hours. Alcohol steals away essential nutrients. Long hours of sitting let blood pool, transforming legs from engines of motion into reservoirs of stagnation. Carol, a 67-year-old retired teacher, learned this lesson painfully. Living with type 2 diabetes, she thought her slippers were comfortable, soft and familiar. One winter, she noticed a small red spot on her heel. It didn't hurt, so she ignored it. 2 weeks later, that harmless spot had become an open sore. The diagnosis: poor circulation and vitamin B12 deficiency. Months of wound care followed. She recovered, but not without reflection. "I thought comfort meant safety," she said. "I didn't realize stillness could be so dangerous." Her story is a microcosm of a greater truth. The body's decline is not an act of betrayal. It's a mirror of how we live. When we feed it poorly, neglect its signals, and confine it to chairs and screens, we turn our own legs into strangers. But the hopeful part of this truth is that the opposite is also real. When we move, nourish, and care, the body remembers. It rebuilds. Every vitamin, every heartbeat, every step is part of a larger conversation between you and your biology. You are not a passive passenger in aging. You are its sculptor. What you eat, how you breathe, how often you rise from your chair, all of it shapes the bridge beneath your feet. And with awareness, that bridge can grow stronger again. The most dangerous illnesses rarely begin with pain. They begin with whispers, small, almost forgettable sensations that fade as quickly as they come. That is how the body tests your attention. The tragedy is that many people only listen when the whispers turn into screams. Leg weakness is one such whisper. It's the quiet tremor when you rise from a chair, the sudden need to steady yourself on a railing. It's the slight wobble that wasn't there last month. That's not just tired muscle, it's the first ripple in a deeper current. When your blood struggles to reach your legs, oxygen-starved muscles begin to falter. The nerves start to lose their spark, and the skin, that last line of defense, becomes fragile and slow to heal. The body's clues often come disguised as ordinary discomforts: a foot that feels cold even under warm blankets, toes that look pale or bluish, a small cut that lingers instead of closing, swelling that greets you each morning like an uninvited guest. Each of these signs is the body whispering, something isn't flowing. Let me tell you about Jim, a retired firefighter. His right foot always felt colder than his left, but he blamed an old injury and thought nothing of it. Months passed. Then his wife noticed a small sore on his toe, one he hadn't even felt. When he finally went to the doctor, the sore was already infected, and tests showed severe circulation loss. He was lucky. Surgery wasn't needed, but the doctor told him bluntly, "Another few weeks, and you might have lost that toe." Jim later said something that stayed with me. "My body had been warning me for months. I just wasn't listening." The body always speaks before it breaks. The trick is learning its language. Swelling that doesn't fade overnight, feet that change color, numbness that creeps in like a shadow. These are not inconveniences. They are conversations waiting for your response. Science confirms what ancient healers once taught. Early intervention changes everything. Catch poor circulation or nerve damage soon enough, and the body can reverse course. Capillaries can reopen, nerves can regenerate, tissues can heal. But delay too long, and the damage calcifies, turning whispers into scars. In this modern world of constant noise, it's easy to ignore the quietest signals. We're taught to push through discomfort, to outwork fatigue, to silence the body's complaints with caffeine or screens. But healing begins the moment we stop doing that. When we pay attention, when we look at our feet, not with indifference, but with gratitude, for carrying us, for speaking when we can't yet feel. Each day offers a simple practice, a daily scan. Sit down, breathe, and look at your feet. Feel their temperature. Notice their color. Flex them. Stretch them. Honor them. It may seem trivial, but it's one of the most powerful forms of prevention. Because awareness is medicine, the kind that costs nothing and saves everything. Our bodies whisper before they shout. If we learn to hear the whispers, we may never have to face the shout. The beautiful truth about the human body is that it wants to heal. Even after decades of wear, it still fights for balance, still rebuilds its broken bridges, still whispers, "Give me a chance." When we move, eat, and care with intention, we don't just slow aging, we begin to reverse it. The science is clear. Movement is medicine. A 20-minute walk a day can improve circulation as powerfully as some prescriptions. Every step acts like a small heartbeat for your legs, pushing blood back to the heart, keeping oxygen in motion. For those who can't walk far, even chair exercises, ankle circles, or leg lifts awaken the calf muscles, the body's natural pumps. It's not about intensity, it's about rhythm. Consistency becomes the new strength. Then comes nutrition, the blueprint for repair. Foods rich in omega-3s like salmon or walnuts help calm vessel inflammation. Leafy greens restore vitamin K, crucial for vessel flexibility. Citrus fruits and berries fortify arteries with vitamin C, strengthening their delicate walls. Vitamin D feeds the muscles, B12 nourishes the nerves, zinc repairs the tissues. The body doesn't need miracles, it needs building blocks. Give it those, and it remembers what to do. Breaking harmful habits is another quiet revolution. Quitting smoking is like removing a clamp from your arteries. Within weeks, blood flow improves. Reducing alcohol restores nutrient balance. Even small shifts matter. Swapping one drink for water, standing every 30 minutes, elevating your legs after sitting. Each action tells your body, "I'm on your side." And then there's care. Simple, tender, daily. Wash your feet in warm, not hot water. Moisturize the skin. Check for small cuts or color changes. Wear shoes that hug, not choke. These rituals are not vanity. They are love translated into practice. Consider Linda, a 68-year-old gardener who once ignored a small blister on her heel. After months of struggle, she turned her routine into her recovery, checking her feet every morning with her first cup of coffee, walking through her garden barefoot on soft grass to stimulate circulation, eating brightly colored fruits as if she were painting her own blood back to life. 6 months later, her circulation tests improved, and she smiled when she said, "I just made caring part of my morning." That's the essence of prevention, not grand gestures, but attention. A little movement, a little color on your plate, a little patience with your own body. You don't need to chase youth. You only need to nurture flow, because the more you move, the more your body remembers what it means to be alive. Getting older is often described as decline, as though time were a thief, quietly stealing strength and freedom. But perhaps aging isn't theft at all. Perhaps it's an invitation to listen more deeply, to move more intentionally, to care for this vessel that's carried us through every season of life. Your legs, your arteries, your heart, they're not relics of the past. They're living proof of resilience. They respond to care, to motion, to nourishment. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your body can adapt, rebuild, and renew. Science calls it plasticity, but it's really just hope written into biology. The truth we've explored is simple, yet profound. Your circulation is the rhythm of your life. When the flow slows, everything dims. But when it moves freely, when your arteries are open and your blood hums through them, you feel it. Your thoughts sharpen. Your steps lighten. The world feels wider again. Healing begins in small, unremarkable choices. A handful of berries instead of a bag of chips. A walk instead of another hour in the chair. A habit of noticing instead of ignoring. These are not medical interventions. They are acts of respect, acts of partnership with your own biology. Aging doesn't have to mean surrender. It can mean refinement, learning to align with your body instead of fighting it. Each time you stretch, each time you eat with purpose, each time you pause to breathe deeply, you're reminding your arteries of their true nature, to flow, to adapt, to carry life without resistance. Think of every heartbeat as a conversation between your body and your will. Each pulse says, "I'm still here. I still serve you. Keep me clear." And your answer can be simple. I will. So here's the invitation. Keep moving, keep caring, keep listening. Because the miracle of the human body isn't that it lasts. It's that it can renew itself even after years of neglect. Your legs are not just tools for walking. They are symbols of independence, freedom, and vitality. Protect them. Feed them. Move them. They are the roots of your strength and the rhythm of your story. And when you feel that whisper again, that heaviness, that chill, that call from within, don't ignore it. Smile. because that whisper is your body saying, I still believe in you. Every heartbeat is a promise. Keep it flowing.